Alright, so got the stuff ordered from Mcleod, which is right here, which will take this thing here apart. And I'll give you a little showdown, hoedown on this thing. So you just pop that off there. So this one's a little different. This one right here, these rings right back here, you pull this whole thing apart and you can pull them each ring out to get the measurement that we need. And what we're needing is the trans to be about, let me see these numbers. That's what I had on the trans, and then minus the flat steel rule I was using for a flat straight edge. It was 42,000, but it really don't matter as long as you keep it the same straight edge and you're using all the measurements. But what we had on trans was 2,700, and on the bell housing and clutch fingers, bell throwout bearing or pressure plate fingers was 2,675. So what we want to have is, they say 100 to 150,000 air gap whenever you put this thing together with this cylinder pushed all the way down in there and bolted on here and pushed all the way back. You take your measurement and you get 100 to 150,000 different, because this is made, once you get it all bled and everything, this will actually ride on the pressure plate fingers, the bearing, and you can see where this one was riding on it. But what I was coming up with on my little mathematical equations and everything, I was in 25 thousandths. So the trans, as you can see, 658, 633, 658, or you just go off that 2,700. I'm not confusing y'all, 2,675. The trans, the bell house, the throwout bearing was sticking in on the fingers, 25 thousandths. But, and I'm assuming that is where the clutch is worn and the fingers are pushing back, you know, they've moved out a little bit. So, and this is pretty old, this is an old deal. So got that right there, new seals and everything. So we'll rebuild this thing real quick. And all right, so on this one, let's see if we can do this without pulling all this crap apart or slinging it apart. So you just pull that out. All it is, there's an O-ring right there. You can see where it's been got. Well, good thing I got that seal kit, because that's got a nick in it right there. And you take these rings off, whatever you need to get, whatever you need your measurement to be. Pretty easy peasy. And this thing, the only thing, it does have a top. That right there, there's a little vent hole in the front of the transmission case. But that's got to be lined up. But other than that, this thing just pops apart. Actually, it ain't tool. There we go. See? And this right here, this ring right here is actually O-ring. It's actually for an oil filter, because when I got this transmission back from being built, whenever they put that back together, this big O-ring right here, and you can see, if you can see that, this thing's coming apart, probably because it's not supposed to be in brake fluid, would be my guess. But anyway, so then the cylinder just pops out like that. There's that. You can see the difference. And then once you put that back on there, and then all this stuff is just held together, even when it's old, just on there. Can't fall off while it's in there because your fingers are right here. So I'm gonna say we need to take one ring off anyway. Need some lube. So let's make that 2 rings. Still a little lube. And if you notice, I'm not even measuring because we need about 100 thousandths. Yeah, 100, 150. Actually, we need about 125 thousandths more. If you go to the max, they say 100 to 150 thousandths. We got 25 thousandths, so you know, that's about 1/8 of an inch. What you're gonna need, but we'll measure it. But you can see the difference. Alright, so this is probably the hardest part, is just knocking these 2 O-ring or roll pins out there, which was in a time lapse, but I figured I'd just show you real quick. All that is that this little O-ring right here goes right down in that hole right there. Pulled that old one out right there, pulled that old one out, put that one new in, just drop it down in there. A little brake fluid on there. Let's give it a little lubrication. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Not working out too good. Just take it right in there. Take something with a jagged edge on it so you can nick it real good as you're pushing it down in there, just ever so slightly. There you go, like that. And you just take it out. Try to watch it from the inside, make sure I'm going straight into the hole, not catching the edge of the O-ring. Bloop. Right in there. Take these 2 roll pins here, match them up with what come out of there, because they send you some extras, it looks like. Send you ones that are just a little bit longer. Must have for a different style. Those are just a little bit longer. So, last 2 of them. That's really the only thing you got to use the tools on. It's real. But you got to half-ass worry about scratching or scarring something up. Knock them 2 roll pins back in there. And use that and get the rest of the seals off, and that's pretty much it. The only thing, this seal right here, you don't get that one. Which that one, you know, that's just your front seal anyway to keep your oil in. But so it looks fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. So and swap that one out. Okay. I'm gonna take our handy dandy little flat edge. And we know that dude is 42 thousandths thickness, because that's what I was using before. So what we're gonna do is come off of this right here. It's on there. $254. That'll give us our air gap, and then once you get check my math there. And that other number right there at 2675, that's off the bell housing without minusing out the thickness of that rule right there. So we'll just leave it on there because that 2540 is with this rule going off the front of this rule. Straight edge, whatever you want to call it, but it is a ruler. So, and it's a 42 thousandths thickness. So, yeah, 43, whatever. But we ain't gonna minus that off there, so we got 2540, and the bell housing was 2675. So there we go. 2675, 2540. Pretty sure it gets you 135, it looks like. So, even though I guess doing it like that would be negative. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, well, there's a little shortcut. I gotta take it back off there and put these shims back behind there. They go in for the bearing. Okay, so I just gotta take it back off. Plus, I didn't put no lube on there anyway, or goo. Put some goo on there, some silicone, keep that thing from leaking. But that's it. That come out of that cylinder, or the cylinder, because that one's got a nick in it. So I guess whenever they assembled it, they might have put a little nick in it or something, or maybe when I was screwing around with it the other day, I might have did it, but I doubt that. I wouldn't do nothing like that. So those are probably extras. Maybe for different, because those come with it too, and I don't need those big ones, those longer ones. They just use the shorter ones. But yeah. But if any of you guys are out there and you're in a pinch, you're at the racetrack or whatever, and you can't find one of these O-rings, just in case you screw one of yours up, if you got one of these, this will actually work. And this is out of an oil filter, the kind of the oil filters that, like your newer cars that don't have, they're not, you know, it's just got the filter, you know, and it's got the cap that takes the O-ring. Well, that's the O-ring for the cap. So anyway, yeah, that's what we had to do. We was in a pinch. All right, there it is, buttoned up. Don't forget to put your bleeder on top. There. Got a little stuff oozing out there. Oh yeah, make sure you seal your threads too, because all these go right into the case inside, FYI. And just to recap, had 254 on the trans, this measurement right here. And then the bell housing, clutch and all that was 267, so it gave a gap of 135. And the bell housing is the same measurement, it's just from right here, this edge of the bell housing up to your fingers. So that gap from your bell housing to your fingers, clutch fingers, pressure plate fingers, you take that measurement, and then that's how you get that. Dot, 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 dot. FYI, everybody needs to know that. All right.